How did 5 states get their names? The study of place names and their origins, known as toponymy, can reveal a lot about human society as a whole. Did you know that almost every country in the world can place the origin of its name in one of only 4 categories? These are either a directional description of the country, a feature of the land, a tribe or ethnic group that lived there, or after an important person. Now, let's see if the same thing applies to some of the United States. 5. Arizona. There's a bit of a mystery surrounding the name of Arizona, with 2 versions of the story circulating out there. One says that Arizona comes from the Basque Aritzonak, which translates to good oak. The name is said to have been given due to the many oak trees in the area, which reminded the Basque settlers of their home country. The other version says that the word actually comes from the Spanish, who called the region Arizonac, which itself was a corruption from a word in the native Tejano-Oaxam language, spoken in the area. When the boundary between the U.S. and Mexico was drawn at the Rio Grande and the Gila River, Arizona was part of New Mexico. But soon after its annexation, people living in what is now Arizona wanted a separate status from New Mexico. Several names were suggested for the new state, among which was also Gadsden. It was proposed as a means to honor James Gadsden, the man who negotiated the purchase of land south of the Gila River. Nevertheless, in 1863, the name Arizona won out, and the rest is history. 4. Pennsylvania. If you've ever felt that there's a connection between Pennsylvania and Transylvania, then you'd be right. But the connection has nothing to do with vampires or the 2 lands themselves, but through the way they were named in the first place. The word Transylvania can be broken down into 3 parts as follows: trans, which is Latin for over or beyond, silva, Latin for woods, and nea, which is a common suffix used for nouns and countries. In other words, Transylvania translates to lands beyond the forest. Now, when it comes to Pennsylvania, the difference is with the word Penn. Pennsylvania was named in honor of British Admiral William Penn, father to William Penn, the founder of the state. William Penn, Sr., actually loaned some money to King Charles II of England, and in return, the king gave his son a tract of land for him to found a Quaker settlement in America. The younger Penn proposed the name Sylvania, but King Charles II wanted Penn's name to be included, thus the name Pennsylvania, which translates to Penn's woodland. The story goes that William Penn felt embarrassed about it, fearing that people would think that he named it after himself, and petitioned the name be changed to New Wales. But the king's secretary, who was a devout Christian from Wales, was completely against it, not wanting any connection between his homeland and the Quakers whatsoever. 3. Texas. Texas also goes by the name of the Lone Star State. This is as a way to represent and signify its former status as an independent republic, as well as its struggle for independence from Mexico. That Lone Star can still be found on the state flag, as well as its seal. But when it comes to its actual name of Texas, its origins can still be linked to the Spanish and by extension, Mexico. The name actually comes from the Caddo, a sedentary tribe of Native Americans who lived in the area around the time when the Spanish made it there. The Caddo, as well as other tribes that lived in the region, all had the same word, or a similar variation of it, to refer to friends and allies. That word was Tisha, which the Caddo also used as a greeting in the form of hello, friend. This greeting was similarly used on the Spanish, who later named the natives after it. Over the years, that word went through several changes including Tejas, finally settling on Texas. Interestingly enough, Texas' official motto is friendship. 2. Florida. Juan Ponce de Leon is a name that should sound at least somewhat familiar, even if you don't really know what he was famous for, it just has that ring to it, right? Anyway, Ponce de Leon was a possible crew member in Christopher Columbus' 1493 voyage to the New World, though nobody is really sure. A decade later, he served as governor of the eastern part of the Caribbean island of Hispaniola, present-day Dominican Republic. During his time as governor in Hispaniola, he also explored the nearby island of Puerto Rico and became governor of that too. Following some rumors of other possible islands to the northwest of Hispaniola, Ponce de Leon received exclusive rights from the King of Spain to become governor for life on whatever lands he might discover in that region. In return, he was expected to finance the voyage and future settlements himself. On April 2, 1513, the three ships part of the expedition came across an island, or what they thought to be an island, and named it La Florida. The name was chosen because of the incredibly verdant and flowering landscape, and because it was the Easter season, which the Spanish called Pascua Florida or Festival of Flowers. Nobody is really certain where they made their first landing in La Florida, but they stayed there for 5 days before they left. A second voyage took place in 1521 with the intention of colonizing the newly discovered lands. But before the colonists could establish the settlement, they were attacked by the native Calusa warriors. Ponce de Leon was severely wounded in the skirmish and the colonizing attempt was abandoned. Historians believe that he was hit by a poison-tipped arrow, and died in Cuba. Now, legends have it that he was actually looking for a rumored fountain of youth when he discovered Florida, and this is probably why his name is so familiar. Unfortunately, however, there was no mention of any such fountain in any documents at the time, and the story was only attached to him after his death. Furthermore, it's also believed that he wasn't the first European to set foot in Florida either. Spanish slavers looking for new prisoners may have made it there in the years prior. 1. California. Did you know that some people are naming their kids after popular Game of Thrones characters? Well, naming people and places after fiction isn't something new. In fact, California was named in the exact same manner. Its name was given by two Spanish sailors, Diego de Becerra and Fortune Ximenez, who landed on the southernmost tip of Baja California in 1533. The two were sent there by Hernán Cortés to claim that land on his behalf. The name was chosen based on a fictional island called California that appeared in a romantic novel at the time, written by Spanish author García Rodríguez de Montalvo in the early 16th century. Known as La Surgas de Esplandian, The Adventures of Esplandian, the novel mentions a mythical island located east of Asia and very close to the side of the terrestrial paradise, and it is peopled by black women, without any man among them, for they live in the manner of Amazons. In the book, this island was ruled over by Calafia, a warrior queen who once led an army of women and a flock of mythical griffins from the island of California to aid a Muslim army battle against the Christians, who were defending Constantinople. Her name, and by extension the name of the fictional island, are based on the Arabic word Khalifa, which is a religious state leader, and known as Caliph in English. The two Spanish navigators named the place California, thinking that the Baja California peninsula they landed on was an island. To be fair, we should also mention that some people believe that California actually comes from an indigenous phrase, Californo, which means high mountains. But equally as important is the fact that many other places and settlements around the world, including in South America, Europe, Australia, and the Philippines, are named California, something which makes the indigenous phrase being the actual origin seem highly unlikely.